Hey guys, welcome into Fantasy Football Academy 2020. I am your host, the Dean, and we have made it. It is championship week. Merry championship. Wait a minute. Merry Christmas. Sorry, guys. Look, there's nothing better than this time of year than fresh baked cookies. Good stuff. Being up for a championship in fantasy football and presents under the tree. So the Dean is sticking some presents under for you guys in the form of start sits for week 16 to get you guys that ship. We're going to get the championship. We're going to get the belt. We're going to get the trophy. We're going to get the ring. Whatever it is your league dishes out for its champion, we're going to get it for you, okay? We had a wild weekend. Look, if you guys watched the games, some surprises. If you guys follow me on Twitter at FantasyDean20, you guys saw my tweet about Trevor Lawrence and how happy he is to possibly not be a Jet anymore. So I know I would be thrilled for that. He's probably going to go to Jacksonville. The Jets are the only team that I know of that can win and lose at the same time. They beat the Rams. I know they beat the Rams. Nobody saw this coming. Definitely not the Jets. Adam Gase gets a win. Does he save his job? I hope not, just for Jets fans. Look, being a diehard Skins fan, formerly known as the Skins, the now Washington football team, I feel a little bit of your pain. I know we had a good run in the 80s and the early 90s with our coaching staff and things like that. But we've gone for a very, very long time with mediocrity, with disappointing seasons, with hopes and expectations dashed throughout the season, just like Jets fans. I know you guys probably been dealing with it a little longer, maybe since, I don't know, Namath, Testaverde, just to name a couple. It's the only time I can remember the Jets actually being relevant. So with that said, we're going to get into the start sets, and to kind of drive a little knife into the Jets fans, the guy who tormented the Jets for 20 years in the league, I'm going to put Tom Brady as a start of the week at quarterback versus Detroit. Look, the Bucs are going to be playing for a spot. Now, not only are they playing for a spot, but with New Orleans losing, with Tampa Bay winning, what does that do? That sets up possibility for the Bucs to slide in and get that title for the NFC South. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to look down here. Let's see. You got the Buccaneers at 9-5 and the Saints at 10-4. Now the Saints get the Vikes, the Bucs get the Lions. If the Bucs win, they have to win out, and New Orleans has to lose one game. Could that happen? Possibly. So, guys, I've told you guys before that when you're doing your start sets, when you're making your decisions, you need to look at the reality surrounding the fantasy. You need to look at the environment. And this is what we've been preaching all season long, is environmental roster management. Now, this is not taking stats into consideration. This is not doing your analytics and things like that. This is gut feeling, looking at the environment. So if we're looking at the environment around the fantasy, the reality around the fantasy, we're looking at the Bucs playing for something and Detroit playing for nothing. All they're playing for is pride. Now, Matt Stafford, could he possibly be playing somewhere else next year? Maybe. Do they want to see what they have behind Matt Stafford and Chase Daniel? Okay, I can see that happening. Look, they're 5-9. They're out of the playoff race. And unless you're in the NFC East, then you're right in the heart of it. But they're not. So they're done with the playoffs. They're not playing for anything. So what purpose is it to send Matt Stafford out there? None. Not against a Bucs defense like that. Not with them dinged up. Do you really think that Matt Stafford wants to play in this game? I doubt it. There's not really a whole lot for him to play. Now, to get that competitive side, he wants to go out there and be a gamer. But let's look long term. Okay? Look, the Bucs are playing for something. Brady wants that title. He wants a shot at the playoffs. And one of the only ways that he's going to guarantee that is to get the NFC South title. So he's going to do everything he can in his power to go get it. So if you're looking for a quarterback to start, if you made it this far streaming quarterbacks, I know that Tom Brady is probably on someone else's roster. But if you do have him on yours and you're making a decision between who to start, think about who's got more to play for. Who is going to be sat in the second half versus who's playing the whole game? Think about this. If you have Mahomes and Brady, if Pittsburgh loses tonight, then you can pretty much lock in the Chiefs for that number one spot in the AFC, which gives them a first-round bye. So next week, what happens? Maybe Mahomes doesn't play the whole game. I don't know. Maybe you've got Justin Herbert, like I do, and you're making a decision. Do I play Justin Herbert? Do I play Tom Brady? Who's got more to play for? We already know Justin Herbert's the future of the Chargers. They've only won like 3 games. So is there a whole lot to play for? Not really. Think Tyrod Taylor is ready to go again? Yep. So make sure that you're looking at this through the correct lenses, that you're looking at the environment around the player when you're making your decision. So number 2 on my list, I'm going to give you 4 this week, guys, just because I'm feeling generous and it's Christmas time. So Tua versus Raiders. Tua Tagovailoa. You guys haven't been watching him. He's not like lights out. He's not setting the league on fire, but he's going up against the Raiders. The Raiders, guys. They already fired their DC. John Gruden is on the hot seat now, apparently. They went from a lock almost in the playoffs in, week 12? Now they have almost 0 chance of getting in the playoffs because they've dropped so many games. Their defense is horrible. Tua. Look, Tua's got the running ceiling. He's got that floor for the rush game. He's coming into his own for passing. So just the rushing alone should excite you about this game. Next guy up, talking about setting the league on fire. This guy has taken the league by storm in the last couple of weeks, and that's Jalen Hurts. What better division for this guy to be in than a decimated NFC East? And going down the stretch, he gets Dallas. Dallas. Come on, guys. Dallas in week 16. Then he turns around and gets Washington in week 17. My boy Pez out there, I haven't forgot about you, and I will be putting out a week 17 start set just for guys like you. Okay? So don't fret. It's not the last week for the academy, but this is the finals for everyone else. We are going to have makeup test for week 17. Okay? So Jalen Hurts versus Dallas. Look, this guy he's probably not on your waiver wire if you haven't already picked him up. But if you were fortunate enough back a couple of weeks ago when Carson Wentz went down and you were able to get this guy, please go ahead and start him with all confidence against Dallas. Now, the next guy, I can't believe I'm saying this again, but Mitch Trubisky. Look, Trubisky's got Allen Robinson. He's got David Montgomery out of the backfield. And David Montgomery just to hand off to. They're already getting him involved a little bit in the passing game. Okay. So, and I believe it's Clement, the tight end, who's also getting involved here. They got a couple other guys in the passing game. But Mitch Trubisky gets the Jags. The Jags got nothing to play for. The Jags don't want to win this game. With the Jets losing, guess what? They can get Trevor Lawrence. Do you really think they want to win this one? Don't think so. So fire up Mitch Trubisky if you need a desperation play. Maybe your guy has a really tough matchup. Maybe he's one of the guys I'm getting ready to put on the sits for you that you've been trying to ride into the championship week, and you're just having a really hard time. So here we go for the sits. This is a guy who I've been really high on all season. He's been producing, but he's got a really tough matchup coming up, and that's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers versus Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh, guys. So look, Phillip Rivers, he's been awesome, but we got Jonathan Taylor coming into his own and actually being what we thought he was going to be when they drafted him. Okay, when you guys drafted him, probably in the 4th round, maybe 3rd, if you jumped up and got him, if you really believed in Jonathan Taylor and you've just been hanging on to him all season, and you were lucky enough to fight through the regular season, to fight through the playoffs, to get to the championship and be able to bust out Jonathan Taylor, this is going to be the game to do it because Phillip Rivers is probably not going to be able to throw in this game. The pass rush is going to be out there. He's going to be on his back. TJ Watt is going to be on him like white on rice, okay? So next guy up, Ryan Tannehill. And I know, coming down the stretch, Tannehill has been lights out. Last year, he was absolutely phenomenal. He carried a bunch of people into the playoffs and even into the championships. But he's going up against Green Bay. And what is Green Bay really bad at? That's right, rush defense. Who's the running back for Tennessee? Oh, that's right, Derrick Henry. Look, Derrick Henry is the beast of the NFL. He is the new and improved beast mode. This guy is a man among men, man among boys in the league when he's running. So all Ryan Tannehill has to do is hand the ball off. Even Corey Davis, they hand the ball off to him. And if you started Corey Davis this past week, congratulations. Thank you for listening to me. You were probably really, really happy with what happened because if you started A.J. Brown, probably not. So Tannehill versus Green Bay, Phillip Rivers versus Pittsburgh are my sits, along with Russell Wilson. Yeah, I'm sitting Russ. As far as Russ can cook, look, in the beginning of the season, it was all about Russ. Russ was just slinging the ball left, right, center. Didn't matter. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, even Hollister, tight end, got in the act. But right now, look, the Rams are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Jets. There's no way they should have lost this game. 20-23. Now, if you're in a championship round, you want Wilson to actually put up some points. I don't see the Rams letting them do that. I think that the Rams overlook the Jets. They're not going to overlook Russell Wilson and Seattle. They're going to be ready. You know that Aaron Donald is going to be out there, and he's going to be upset, to say the least, okay? So, if you need a quarterback right now, then you need to pick somebody other than Russ Wilson because Russ is just, something's wrong, something's off. So, I don't see that as a good environment, okay? Kenyon Drake kicks off my running back starts versus the Niners. Look, J.D. McKissick just ran roughshod over the Niners. That was it. I think it was Antonio Gibson was his last game with Washington. But the Niners, they ain't got nothing to play for either, and they're too decimated. This is probably going to be a negative game script against Arizona. And guys, remember, when I'm talking negative game script, I mean that they're down by so much that they're going to have to throw the ball, okay? that means that Arizona is going to be up. So Arizona is going to be in a positive game script. Arizona is going to be so positive that they're going to be handing it off to Kenyon Drake just to kill time. Okay. Next guy up. If you guys had this guy on your bench, you're kicking yourself because you might have missed the championship because he was on your bench. And I'm talking about Salvon Ahmed from Miami, the running back. He gets the Raiders this week. I already said it was Tua. It was the Raiders. Guys, I'll say it again. It's Ahmed. It's the Raiders. Look, if Myles Gaskin is still out, this is the only asterisk I'm putting with this, is that if Myles Gaskin is out, Salvon Ahmed is the guy. I know Matt Breida got some touches there in this game last week or yesterday, but Ahmed is the guy in the backfield. He's very Myles Gaskin-esque. So look for him to definitely be in play against the Raiders. Next guy I got up, and I'm going to give you 4 running backs as well. J.K. Dobbins going up against the Giants. I know the Giants have a decent run defense, but look, have you seen what Baltimore's doing? They're putting up 40 points a game, last 2 games. Really? What happened? When did somebody flip a switch in Baltimore and they actually scoring points now? Look, if they can do half of what they've been doing past couple of weeks, J.K. Dobbins is going to be in a positive game script as well, just like Kenyon Drake, against a really bad Giants team with a really bad quarterback that has absolutely no business winning this game. Now, Baltimore wants that playoff spot. They're making a playoff push. They're in the thick of it. They got something to play for. Nobody's getting set in this game. New York, on the other hand, not so sure. Yeah, they got an outside shot in making a playoff push, but you really think they're going to do it against a really good Baltimore team? Don't think so. So go ahead and kick up J.K. Dobbins. Mark Ingram has pretty much been phased out, so you only have 2-headed monsters instead of 3. And when you take it from 3 down to 2, much easier to spread that ball out and kind of pick who's going to blow up, okay? The Gus Bus, kind of slowing down a little bit. J.K. Dobbins is the future in Baltimore. That's what we thought in the beginning of the season. We're now at the end of the season, and we're seeing it come to fruition. David Johnson is my last one against the Bengals. Look, if you saw what he was able to do this past week, if you probably had him on your bench and you're probably kicking yourself like I did, scored me 24 points in my listener league, which not only am I in the championship in our league of record here at the Academy, I'm also championship in my listener league. So the Dean is up for 2 shots at the title. Wish me luck, because the one here is against the misses. Again, last year I lost. Hopefully I get some redemption this year, but regardless, it's still going to be a very Merry Christmas here at the Dean's house for Christmas. So sets of the week for running back. Look, I know these guys have been carrying you. I know these guys have been there for you, and you want to be there for them. You want to be attached to the big name. And it's really, really hard to get off the big name sometimes, especially in the title game. But we've got to be realistic about this, guys. We've got to look at the surrounding environment around these guys. We already talked about Seattle and the Rams. So, yes, I'm putting Chris Carson up as a running back to sit this week. Look, he's been dealing with injury. Carlos Hyde got the big run last game. So what is that saying? That's saying that they're splitting time. That's saying that they're not dedicated solely to Chris Carson. Can you really risk that in the title game? Come on. Plus, it's against the Rams and Aaron Donald. We know that Aaron Donald is going to get in the backfield. He's going to wreak havoc. He's going to cause chaos. So look for somebody to pivot to besides Chris Carson, okay? Maybe it's Josh Jacobs. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Timeout. He gets Miami, who has slowly become the #1 fantasy defense this year. That's right. They jumped over the Colts. They jumped over the Rams. They jumped over Baltimore. Miami is the number one fantasy defense right now. Don't believe me? Check this out. Boom. By 1 point over the Colts. Now, yes, we've still got Pittsburgh to play, so Pittsburgh is probably going to end up as the number one. But as it stands right now, they're the number one defense. They're going to wind up as the number two. And you guys know what time it is. It's time for me to thank, for a season-long sponsorship of this show, Zia of Lafayette, who not only sponsored part of my Thanksgiving Day dinner, but also sponsored the chair that I'm sitting in. So, appreciate Zia for giving me a seat and giving me a sponsorship. Guys, if you are in the Lafayette area, make sure that you're going down to Zia of Lafayette. You can reach them at 406-0013. You can also find them on Waiter and order through there. If you're in the Lafayette area and you want to stop by and say hi to the guys down there, to Tucker and Leonard and Heath and all the guys, go down. It's on Dewstead Road behind the Grand Theater off of Johnson and right in front of Red Laurel's Health Club. Look, you're not going to regret it. Go down there, get you some rotisserie chicken, get you a rotisserie ribeye. I know it sounds crazy, but it's delicious. And make sure that you get a side order of grits. You might even make that your entree. They are that good. Trust me. So we see here Miami, Indianapolis is probably going to wind up being the Steelers at number one. And then the Rams, Baltimore, and my boys, the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, rounding out the top six. And we see that KC and the Chiefs, or KC and the Chiefs, KC and the Saints are down there as well. And finishing off the top 8, okay? And we'll go down and we'll give you guys the top 12 here. We got the Bucks, the Pats, New York, and Arizona as the top 12. So, and I'm gonna blow your mind with my my sets of the week at defense. So just hang on just a second, guys. So as I was saying, Josh Jacobs versus Miami, put him on your bench, pivot to somebody else. They're not playing for anything. They're pretty much out of the playoffs. It's going to take a miracle for them to even make it into the postseason. The next guy I'm talking about, James Robinson, and it pains me to say this because he's on my squad, and I don't want to set him. I did this past week. Probably shouldn't have, but I made it in anyway. Had a lot of other guys come through for me, so I was fortunate for that. But James Robinson pulls the Redskins, the Washington football team, okay? They have one of the best pass rushes and rush defenses in the league, okay, guys? Their front seven is by far the most talented group that you're going to find in the NFL. And it's not just me saying this. I've heard announcer after announcer after announcer say this, okay? So, James Robinson versus Washington, set him down, find somebody else, pivot to someone else, okay? I know it's going to be hard. He's been my number 2 behind Derrick Henry. He was my number 1 before I got Derrick Henry in the mix for me. Next up at wide receiver, we saw finally Chris Godwin and Mike Evans come through in a big way that you were looking for, and they get a really soft matchup against Detroit this week. So fire both of these guys up, along with Tim Patrick versus the Chargers. Look, this is probably going to be a negative game script for the Broncos, so they're going to have to throw the ball, and whoever it is, a quarterback, is going to find Tim Patrick, okay? This guy's he's a good big target, nice big wide receiver to throw to, and he just keeps producing over and over and over again, and nobody wants to give this guy any love. I'll show you some love, Tim. I'm putting you up there as a start. Don't let me down, okay? Next guy I'm talking about, Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco going up against the Cards, and we already talked about negative, positive game script. This is probably going to be a negative game script for the Niners against the Cardinals, so they're going to be chucking the ball. all over the place. Okay, guys. My sits of the week. The I don't like this matchup with Seattle this week, guys. I really, really don't. And I'm sorry that if you guys have Metcalf, if you guys have Lockett, which I have Lockett, the wife has Metcalf. I'm not thrilled about this matchup at all because I'm gonna have to make a decision to set Lockett versus the Rams. So any of the wide receivers from Seattle, I'm not seeing it. I'm not. Robbie Anderson versus Washington. And maybe I'm saying this a little bit for the wife because she has Robbie Anderson. He's been doing really good. But as I said before, Washington has an absolutely awesome pass rush. They really haven't been lit up this week, but they're going up against Carolina. I really don't see Teddy B being that big of a threat. And you might be wondering, well, why didn't you set Mike Davis? Okay, Mike Davis is probably going to be the only bright spot in this game. So, yeah, I don't see CMC coming back. There's really nothing for him to play for. I would be surprised if he plays. So I don't think they're going to risk injury for the rest of the season on a meaningless game for Carolina. Amari Cooper versus Philly. And I'm going to show you guys something real quick on the Amari Cooper front. Let's look at I don't have C's Cowboys on here, do I? Nope, sure. Here we go. So we see Amari Cooper here this past week. The Cowboys put up 41 points, and Cooper got 10 receiving yards and -7 rushing yards to get 2.3 points. Okay, guys, that's not good. That's like Keenan Allen, not good. Okay, I think Keenan Allen got more points than this. Okay, Keenan Allen, I got 2.4. So this is a really bad line and really bad trend for Amari Cooper to put up right now. Okay. Now, we know that CD Lamb, I don't think he had CD. No. CD Lamb put up, a good stat line. That 47-yard kick return for a touchdown didn't hurt any, but we don't see that happening. They're going up against Philly, and I think they could be in a real shootout right here. But if Amari Cooper can get shut down like this, and this was against San Francisco. San Francisco's got a dinged up defense as it is. If they lock him down again in championship week, guys, I don't feel good about it. So now, tight ends. One guy who came through that you drafted to do this for you. You drafted him to do big things in the championship game. Big players play big in big games, okay? Mark Andrews versus the Giants. Look, I just said the Ravens have put up 40-plus points in the last 2 weeks each game. That's their average. So if they're going to get down around the red zone, who is Lamar looking for? He's going to be looking for that big target in Mark Andrews to throw to, okay? Another guy that is going to be looked at, Dawson Knox. And I know you're thinking, what? Who? Dawson Knox plays for Buffalo. Now, Tyler Kroft was the tight end. He's been hurt. So Dawson Knox has stepped in. And when you got a guy like Josh Allen throwing you the ball, you definitely want a little piece of this game. Like I said, the Pats, they've been eliminated from the playoffs. Do you really think they're going to be up for this game? Buffalo still has something to play for. Buffalo is still playing for playoff positioning. Okay, they can still get in here and do some things. So Buffalo, they want to hold on to that spot. I know they're not going to be threatened right now, but they want that momentum. They don't want Josh Allen to slow down at all. So Dawson Knox, if you need a dark horse at tight end, if you don't have one of the two big ones, if you don't have Waller, you don't have Kelsey, which I have Kelsey, the wife has Waller, it's going to be fun. Both tight ends are going to be putting up like 30 points. It's going to be ridiculous. But Dawson Knox versus the Pats, start of the week at tight end, sits of the week at tight end. TJ Hawkinson, if you had TJ and you started him this week, I feel for you. My opponent this past week got less than 3 points. It was ugly with a capital UGLY. Okay. He pulls the Bucks. Like I said, Matt Stafford got pulled out early in this game. Chase Daniels. I know that tight ends are safety blankets for backup quarterbacks, but this is the Bucks, and I don't see TJ doing a whole lot in this game. It's probably going to be the DeAndre Swift show. Marvin Jones Jr. Is probably going to have to step up big in this game. So if you have either one of those guys, go ahead and start them with all confidence. You're probably starting them anyway. But TJ Hawkinson, if you can find a different one off the waiver wire, and a guy who's been on the waiver wire, and I don't understand why, it's been Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas can be an absolute stud for you at tight end. So there's my third start of the week, Logan Thomas. Unless he's on somebody else's roster, then he needs to be on yours if you're trying to make a shot at the title, and TJ Hawkinson has been your go-to guy. Or if this next guy, Evan Ingram, is on your roster, you need to pivot somewhere else. Look, he had 17.9 points in week 12, and past that, he hasn't gotten above 8. Okay, that means he found the end zone once on like one catch. You can't be chasing that kind of production this late in the season. Okay, with the final game, everything is in the balance, championship on the line. You cannot lean on somebody like that, especially when they get the Ravens as this game. So think about that. Also, guys, for defenses, you want to start the Browns against the Jets. I know they just totally blew out they didn't blow out, but they got a win against the Rams, who was supposed to be a shutdown, locked and loaded matchup. Okay. But the Browns are not going to overlook the Jets. They're going to be ready for them. They're going to just lock down this team. The Chiefs versus the Falcons. Look, if anybody can screw up a game, it's Atlanta. If anybody knows how to throw interceptions, it's Matt Ryan. If anybody doesn't know how to hold on to the ball, it's anybody wearing a Falcon uniform. So the Chiefs versus the Falcons, awesome matchup. Now, the one matchup with both defenses that I really don't like in this one is Pittsburgh versus Indy and Indy versus Pittsburgh. If you have Indy or Pittsburgh, you need to sit them and you need to pivot somewhere else. Okay. Thankfully, I have Indy and I have the Ravens. The wife has Pittsburgh and she has the Rams. So guess what? I'll be starting the Ravens. She'll probably be starting the Rams because I'm not having any part of this. Pittsburgh is going to have Big Ben throwing the ball like 50 plus times this game. And then Indy is going to have Jonathan Taylor running all over. So I'm not going to pin my hopes on this game. Now, a couple of notes that I do want to leave with you guys before we wrap this up is going to be Friday night. We have no Thursday night football. I know. Don't be depressed, though, because guess what? Christmas Day football. No, not basketball. Turn the basketball off. Turn on NFL Network and watch you some Vikes versus the Saints. And then Saturday, we get the Bucks and Lions, Niners and Cards, Miami and the Raiders. So we get the Fins and the Raiders. We get San Fran and Arizona. And then we get Tampa Bay and Detroit on Saturday. Monday night football wraps it up with the Bills and the Pats on Monday Night Football, and then everybody else is on Sunday. So we get 4 straight days. Merry Christmas. 4 straight days of football. Look, NFL, I don't know how you did it. I don't know who makes up the schedule, but whoever it is, give them a raise because this is awesome. I've absolutely loved this season. even with all the COVID, even with all the craziness, this has been one of the more entertaining seasons to watch. And I hope that you guys feel like I've contributed something for your fantasy team. If I have, do me a favor, down at the bottom, subscribe, like, and share. Let me know if you're in the championship. My boy Pez, I hope you're still kicking in the playoffs, and I hope you're kicking it to the Week 17 championship. All right, guys, if this is your championship week, like most of it is, remember, all or nothing, and there are no points for second place. Okay, this is just like Top Gun, guys. So, for the Dean, for Fantasy Football Academy 2020, all of us here, thank you very much for the love and support. And make sure you come back tomorrow because we're going to give you a few more tips and tricks to look at for going into your championship week. Until then, you guys take care. Remember, if you're somewhere where you need to mask up, which all of us should be, mask up and remember, cover to recover. So, guys, thank you very much for the time. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you next time on Fantasy Football Academy 2020.